So, good evening, everybody. My name is Roosta. My co-commentator today is Blackwax, and you're here watching SpeedGaming 4, the Link to the Past Randomizer League. How are you doing today, Blackwax?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, man?
Doing good. So this week is it's Team Kappa versus Team We're Bad at Team Names. This is a co-op race. They're getting set up right now. What do you know about this mode?
Well, they're allowed to talk to each other in voice chat and tell each other what items are. They're not allowed to use any type of text or video-based communication. So all of it's just back and forth between the two of them on the mic.
Yeah, and for those of you who have not seen this setup before, the two players on the left, oneup40 and Gammachuu, are both on the same team, Team Kappa. Two players on the right, AdirondackRick and Synack, excuse me, are both on Team We're Bad at Team Names. All four players have the same seed. The whole point of it is basically divide up checks and sort of go different ways and talk to each other and say, hey, here's what you should get, here's what you should skip, how should we do this, etc.
And it sounds easy, but trying to not overlap is kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah, and really that's the heart of this mode is, trying to efficiently do your checks in a way that makes a lot of sense and doesn't end up wasting stuff or wasting time. We'll be getting going here in probably about a minute, minute and a half. Team Kappa, as you see, they have 36 points. They have actually already clinched the division, but Team We're Bad at Team Names on the right there, they have clinched a playoff spot. However, they have 27 points and the next team has 24. So a win today would help them sort of lock in that second seed for the playoffs, which would be very beneficial for them. So we'll be getting going in just a second here, but just wanted to toss out a big shout outs to our two trackers who will be handling it today, who is M. Jolly and then Yoinker's wife will both be pushing buttons for us today. Since we have four runners, we're using two trackers and they're going to do a really good job of keeping us on track and keeping us in line here.
Should be any second now. Oh, and here we go. Synack having a little bit of trouble getting that chest.
Yeah, and what you'll see here, so one member of each team has started at Link's house and the other sort of started at Sank. This is intentional that you sort of divide it up. It's the whole point of the co-op, is that you don't want to really follow each other's route as much as possible. You want to always be doing different checks and doing different parts of the game.
And nothing on Lumberjack, so it's pretty likely that Aga 1 will be the last thing.
Yeah, because it is worth noting this is all dungeons, so AGA 1 is required. It's just if there's something on Lumberjack, of course you have to do it earlier, whereas if there's not, you'll typically put it off as long as possible, ideally even after Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, it's really easy to do Ganon's Tower, Mirror, and then do AGA 1, and then it spawns you back on top of the pyramid again. And you could just jump down the hole.
Yep, and meanwhile we have a red crystal on Tower of Hera and a pendant on Desert Palace. Since it's all dungeons, the only big difference there is that potentially a item required for that pendant dungeon could be in Ganon's Tower, and then of course the red crystal does still unlock Pyramid Fairy.
And Rick getting nothing out of the back of Sahasrara's hut. Meanwhile, Synack and Gammachuu are going through, oh, oneup40 is also there too, in, Kakariko. And the Moon Pro and Blind's hut.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting to note here is that when you're splitting up checks like these, you'll often be slightly more starved for resources, rupees, bombs, etc. than you normally would be. So being able to split up your checks intelligently and trying to avoid, okay, who's going to have Zora money, who's going to have spare bombs to check these, etc. is really important but subtle part of the game.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that I didn't see a hula hand start.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the common early plays, is to have one runner do a hula hand just to make sure you always have money for that bottle vendor no matter what. Some interesting routing divergence here. It seems like Team We're Bad at Team Names has basically decided that Synack will handle everything in Kakariko while Rick handles all the other one-off checks. Also, hello to our raid from the SpeedGaming Prime channel. Welcome, everyone. This is the ALTTPR, Link to the Past Randomizer League. This is Season 2, Week 7. So this is co-op. So my name is Arusta. My co-commentator is Blackwax. What you're going to be seeing here is that all 4 runners are having the same seed. 2 players on the left, oneup and Gammachuu, are teamed up, and AdirondackRick and Synack are also teamed up. Basically, each team is in a Discord channel and chatting and saying, here's what to check, here's what to skip, etc.
And Rick having trouble with these mold worms. And the Mirror and Quake in Mini Moldworm Cave, along with just some more bombs, although that was a much needed refill for him.
Yeah, especially since you have to assume Rick is, and looks like he's going to play this out to Ice Rod Cave. Because the one thing about this sort of mode is that skipping checks is something you really, really don't want to do, because you know with two opponents, it's very unlikely your opponents are going to skip checks. So even if you might normally say, hey, I feel gambly, it's not something you're normally going to do. Also, as chat pointing out, there is a sword in the back of Blind's hut, which both of Team Kappa have. Synack and AdirondackRick, especially Rick, since he hasn't been to Kakariko at all, will need to pick that up in the Moon Pearl as well.
And Synack showing a little bit of knowledge. There's a hut down here you can bomb, and you can get bombs and arrows out of it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things in normal randomizer you don't necessarily see very often, because usually you'll be fairly good on bombs, but in something like this where you're going to skip a bunch of bombable chests, it can often come in handy to know that.
Chicken clip burning Synack over here.
A very nice room there with the bomb escape there from Rick.
Apparently Gammachuu has the flute, and I did not see where he got it from.
It's the very first room of the back of escape, the one with the blue guard.
Okay. That means, yeah, so it's on Rick's. And oneup40 also has it now. Cool. So, everybody but Synack can fly.
Yeah, and you have to figure Synack will go there once he finishes off cleaning out the Blind's hut here, because of the way they've routed this. Team We're Bad at Team Names has not had someone else check this back chest here for the sword. But it is worth noting with the way that Team We're Bad has routed this, Rick is basically, since Synack has full cleared all of Kakariko, Rick will be able to just check exactly what he needs in Kakariko while also activating that flute, so it'll save him a bunch of time.
Gammachuu getting his ether out of Sanctuary. And oneup40 getting the old man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Gammachuu goes from here. Have to guess maybe the eastern area, because Team Kappa has not been to Eastern at all. One of the things about this mode is generally the one-off or weirdly placed checks you sort of want to split up so that you don't have one person doing everything. Because the way the team is scored is it's based on the average of the final finish times. So if you finish first but your teammate finishes fourth, it's very possible your team overall loses. So ideally you both want to finish as close together as you can.
And oneup40 picking up the book just in time to go check this tablet.
Which they will not be coming back for. Triple boom is just bombs.
And Rick finally making his way to Kakariko, getting his sword and his moon pearl.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that there's depending on where the big key is, it's possible you can Harapot. Well, without hookshot you can't Harapot, never mind. But even if you could, it's often a risk in a mode like this, because if you're leaving an item behind, it can be difficult to get back, or it's something where skipping checks can really hurt you. But they won't need it. Hopefully they're, without a fire source, can't do the basement anyways, so.
Hopefully there's just nothing in the basement, because nobody likes doing it anyways.
I mean, it's a free coffee break, but it is a waste of 10 seconds. Oh, Rick showing off a very nice subtle thing there. Found out that the stun prize was red rupees, so stunned a couple of those little electrifying guys to get up to 506 rupees, so can do Zora as part of this play. Very nice call there. And so at 13 minutes, Team Kappa is first on the board with one dungeon completed. Looks like Gammachuu is almost certainly going to play this out as well and get the other crystal from Eastern Palace. Also, as noted in chat, thank you to Thalfon for pointing this out, there is an item in Hera Basement, so presumably OneUp's going to put that off as long as possible, and maybe when Gammachuu gets up here on his trip up to Hera, he'll have a fire source and be able to check that for him.
So far, Rick not finding anything of note with his fake clip ring. And Gammachuu gets a crystal. I didn't see where Gammachuu got the bow from. And I'm just not realizing he's the only one with it. Did he get that out of Eastern?
I think that was from Eastern itself, yeah. 'Cause I think, shout-outs to Tracker for people in chat for pointing it out. That came from the back of Escape, which Gammachuu actually...
Back of Escape, okay.
Gammachuu actually sequence broke, was the only one to play that all the way through. Which with the sword is not that bad of a dark room to do, but definitely it is out of logic and worth keeping in mind.
We haven't seen a glove yet.
No glove. Gammachuu went all the way through like the vanilla way, except in the dark.
Yeah, getting the bow that early too, with when nobody else has it, is actually a pretty big advantage. Because that also gives him access when they get to the Dark World to take on Pod. He'll be doing a blind, but it's still doable.
To answer a question in chat, Rick isn't going Dark World right now because unfortunately he can't. He will need to pick up that glove sitting out there in Desert Palace. Then he will have Hammer and Glove and will be able to access Dark World at several different points. Finding Cape in Desert Palace, which is always nice to see. But Desert is not boots locked, which is also always nice to see. Cape is a nice safety in a mode like this where you'll often end up with a bit fewer hearts or fewer safeties than you normally would. And it also could later put Spike Cave in logic. It is worth noting, though, that no runners have fire sources right now, so cannot do land mows, even though they can get back there with this glove.
And Team Kappa with Dark World access.
Yeah, and Team we're bad at team names. We'll get it in just a sec here. And with Agina not having anything, you have to assume what they're probably going to do now. Looks like OneUp is going to do Hype Cave, and then Gammachuu is probably going to, as soon as he gets the glove, flute over and do Village of Outcasts, sort of split up the Dark World checks that way. And so Hype Cave has 300 rupees and basically nothing else.
I give it a 1.
Yeah, and I'd only give it the 1 because Team Kappa has not yet done Zora, so that 300 rupees will allow him to route in Pod, Pyramid Fairy, Catfish, and then Zora all at once.
Red Cane in Paradox Cave. I missed that the first time oneup40 came through.
So our other red crystal is on Ice Palace, and then there's a pendant on Skull Woods, and then the green pendant is Turtle Rock, which again, these are all dungeons, but the important thing is that they do still unlock certain items, so it can be important to know what's pendant versus what's crystal.
What's really important is that if there's an item for one of the pendants in Ganon's Tower, so you have to get all of those before you can finish the game.
Yeah, it is worth noting at this point, there are a few items which are required for Turtle Rock which aren't required elsewhere, like the Ice Rod, possibly a medallion, and then also since Skull Woods is simultaneously a pendant, Fire Rod could also be in Ganon's Tower.
That's gross. Don't say that. That's mean.
Looks like oneup is setting up for one of the recently allowed, and he got it. One of the recently allowed minor glitches, which allows you to splash delete, which basically, the game only checks for flippers when you actually splash into the water. So if you do it in a way, overload the Ancilla sprites, which generate the splash, you don't generate the splash when you jump in, and the game thinks, oh, you must be just walking.
And Gammachuu daring to do a Dark Turtle room without the Fire Rod.
And with 6 hearts and green mail.
Yeah, this is a ballsy play, I'm not gonna lie. This is a hard task.
Meanwhile, AdirondackRick is going to Skull Woods, which is an interesting play. There's 2 items here. It's something that hasn't really, I don't think Team Kappa has shown it off yet. But if there's something here, this could definitely be a nice advantage for them.
And he does it. Wait, is there... Nope, yeah, he does it. That was clever. With the Quake, because it stuns them all in place. And so you can see them when they get stunned.
Yeah, it's definitely very good game knowledge showing off there. Meanwhile, Synack showing off the short way to get to back of escape and pick up the bow. Have to assume Synack will probably do maybe like a Pod Eastern combo right here with the flute, hammer, and mirror.
Oh no, Rick, you didn't get the magic. And now the rest of the pod dark rooms are relatively easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can handle that, you can definitely handle the dark basement where you just hold down and then hold left and then hold up, and probably even dark maze, which is very easy. It is also worth noting if you're playing along at home, quote unquote, or you're new to the game, it is race legal to have maps up like in a separate screen or something, and especially with dark maze, it is super nice to have that. Makes it very free to do. Rick getting the hook shot from Skull Woods, which is pretty big for them, because I don't think oneup really went through Skull Woods, and so oneup does not have that. Oh, and there is Fire Rod.
And it's cape locked. So that's convenient, because I think they all have the cape, actually.
Yeah, everybody picked up the cape in Desert Palace, so it's just when Team Kappa decides to get up there to pick up that Fire Rod.
Synack, you need a key.
Oof, and that is a rough death there by Rick. Also showing off a very nice subtle thing there. If you're leaving Escape, or excuse me, leaving Sanctuary, you can actually mirror out of there, and if you're going to go up north and take the health refill, it's actually slightly faster than walking out normally. It's all those little optimizations that really make top tier teams like this. Yeah, and answer a question in chat, oneup has not been in Skull Woods at all. Which we'll see where he decides to go after this. If he decides to do the North Dark World loop, then he'll be able to route in, get Fire Rod first, and make his Skull Woods trip one trip. Or if not, he might end up double dipping it like Rick's about to do. And Mushroom there in the big chest of Thieves Town. One other thing to note is that Rick went and bought a potion from the Witch's Hut before transitioning here. Don't know if that's because planning on doing blind or for doing probably Mothula afterwards. Because 6-heart moth is not easy. Excellent choice there by oneup to use that red potion. Because the thing is, there is a nice script for blind. You got a little off the script in the second half, but if you die, you're completely off script and you have to make it up as you go along, which makes it significantly harder. Also getting Master Sword there, which is a item to have, sort of makes all your dungeon clearing just and your overall gameplay just a little bit faster with a better weapon.
It's also required.
Yeah, I mean it's also required, but it is worth noting that given that it's all dungeons, they would have gotten it anyways. But the sooner you get it, that little time save of every time you fight doing a little better does add up. Looks like oneup is intentionally trying to drain magic, probably going to fake powder here.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, being right here, and then that also allows you to turn in the mushroom and not have to worry about it. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, fake powdering is basically you have to have the Samaria, you drain all your magic, you use Samaria, then you immediately hit start, menu over to the mushroom, and the game thinks you have powder.
It has something to do with the item slots, and I'm not sure why Samaria is involved. Can of Samaria really is a weird item. It's part of so many glitches that it's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sure since we have to do Ice Palace and Swamp, we will see several more of those glitches, given the top tier of runners we're seeing here. Gammachuu finding that fire rod, which I'm sure he has just mentioned to oneup, and so oneup will probably pick up that fire rod before going to Skull Woods and be able to single dip it. So Gammachuu about to show us what's on Graveyard Ledge, and which is something that Rick was probably going to check, but took that unfortunate death. So we'll see if this is something that is going to hurt team or bad at team names. And just $50, so you have to think they will check that at some point, but it's something that fortunately won't hurt them too bad.
So I wonder if Gammachuu is gonna walk over and do the mushroom now.
I don't know why you'd walk out. It looks like no, but also I don't know why you'd walk over there, because they do have flute, so it would be much faster to do mirror and flute. And there is the ice rod on Bombo's tablet. So overall, what we still need is mitts, and then flippers, and possibly boots, depending on what's in Ganon's tower.
And maybe a medallion.
And
We still haven't seen. Nice. But we still haven't seen the because we don't have mitts yet. The medallions for Meyer and Turok.
Yeah, though they do have two of them, so as long as it's not Bombos, that's not going to be an issue.
Knowing this game, they're probably both Bombos. Just to give them a heart attack for a second.
or one of them is not Bombos, and it leads to Bombos.
Ugh.
Synack showing off some very nice pause buffering there to be able to dodge those. He only has one heart here, so needs to be very good choice there to play it safe. Use the menu buffers to see exactly where the fireballs are going and give yourself time to dodge it. And I think Rick did get the Thieves Town mushroom. It's just, I think it was just lost in the trackers. Sometimes it eats inputs.
And Gammachuu going into a very hard Mothula fight on very low health with, I think, basic. Oh, he's got a green potion and a red potion. That's not as bad as I thought.
And to answer a question in chat, yes, mushroom leads to boots, which Team Kappa knows, but Team We're Bad does not yet, though you have to assume Rick is probably going to play this out and turn it in soon. Gammachuu makes it through through that moth fight, burning the blue potion for exactly one shot of fire, or excuse me, the green potion for exactly one shot of fire rod, but it's still much better than having to come back.
Yeah, that's not an easy fight. Totally understandable him burning that green potion just to get one shot off.
Since we're going to see a bit of repeated checks here for a sec, just to give everybody some updates. So this is, of course, Link to the Past Randomizer League. This is the last week of the league, so this match sort of matters for playoff positioning. Team Kappa has already clinched their division in first place in the division, but Team We're Bad at Team Names has 27 points. They've clinched a playoff spot, but whether they are second or third is still up for grabs, and that second seed is very nice in terms of the fact that it allows you to cherry pick the mode. The playoffs, first round of the playoffs is best of 5, 2 versus 3, and the second seed gets to cherry pick the mode in game 3, which can be a critical advantage.
And now it's Rick's turn to do the ridiculously hard moth fight.
Yeah, though it is worth noting that Rick had bought a potion ahead of this, so I think he's got at least a blue and a red, and he might also still have the green, so a little more in terms of safeties available.
And he's got Master Sword.
Very nice fight there. Rick just handling Mothula very nicely. So really, at this point, what we're looking for on both sides, team we're bad at team names doesn't know about the ice rod. Potentially, we could still be looking for a medallion, and then really mitts is the big holdup out of everything.
Yeah, because then the fire rod lamp isn't necessarily required.
Yeah, and I mean, both these teams are certainly okay with most of the dark rooms. The only one that might be difficult is Aga 1, but with Fire Rod, Aga 1's actually not as bad as you'd think. And sorry, chat, but Ped is dead. Rip chat stream.
Gammachuu getting his mushroom so that he can get his boots afterward.
Oneup and Rick racing through desert. There is an item on Landmo, and both teams know that, so want to see what that is. Makes a lot of sense. Gammachuu with a very nice blind fight there, staying perfectly on script.
Actually, they might be one after another with the fire rod.
Yeah, and actually Synack is going to have more fire rod shots available, so it's possible Synack actually finishes this fight first.
This Rick.
Or Rick, excuse me.
Not quite, but they almost finished at the same time. Looks like Oneup is heading up to check that orphaned item in Tower of Hera. Probably also check Spike Rod Cave while you're here too. Gammachuu showing off the Hera pot very nicely there. All we really need right now is mitts for go mode, isn't it?
And flippers.
Right, flippers, because swamp.
Because we do need swamp.
Yeah, you can't fake flipper swamp.
Not yet. We'll see. At some point, they might come up with a way to use Samari to break swamp even further.
Well, you can use a fairy revival to fake flipper in there, but because that layer of water, when it comes out of the dam, it's a fake layer. You're actually down on that bottom layer. You can't climb up the ladders that only go halfway down.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Yep.
And to answer a question in chat, like the splash delete, as far as we know as of yet, the same splash delete like they use at Zora's Ledge that we saw earlier is not possible in Swamp, or more precisely, I think there is a way to do it, you just can't actually climb the stairs, so it doesn't actually do anything. And they're a flipper, so right now Team Kappa just needs mitts. And I would guess probably going to run straight to Swamp Palace here.
Yeah, mitts are more than likely in Swamp at this point.
Yeah, I mean, especially with what they've got available, Swamp is clearly the play because it's far and away the greatest item density, and you can clear it, and it's one less dungeon to deal with.
And Gammachuu finally getting up to Paradox Cave.
Yeah, though it is worth noting that Red Cane is one of those items that, as nice as it is, it's not something that really locks anything, so if your partner's already found it, you probably was going to wait and put it off and hope he could combo it in with something else, some other reason to come up to this area.
Yeah, it doesn't unlock anything unless you have the mitts and or access to Mire or Turtle Rock, which is very specific.
Yeah, and with the way this seed's played out, by the time they get access to those dungeons, the Red Cane those will probably just be straight go mode dungeons, because mitts are really the only item they're looking for.
And Rick dying in Spike Cave. That's rough.
After got the item though, so I wonder if that might have been just an intentional knows he doesn't need it or what.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He did pull out that blue potion then not use it, so OneUp about to show us this diver down glitch. Very nicely executed. Essentially what you do is you use bombs, or you can also use Samaria to sort of clip into the wall a little bit. Clip into that railing and it saves you from having to drain the water. Oh, chat corrected me. Apparently Rick died trying to lift the block up. That's a rough death to have. And it'll be even rougher once he actually gets there and realizes there's nothing there.
Died for nothing. But he gets the lag shield off of Old Man.
Yeah, and oneup finding silvers in the big chest of Swamp Palace.
And decided to use the bomb setup for Diver Down instead of the cane.
It's possible. I know some people try to only learn the bomb setup because you're basically always going to have bombs, but you won't have canes, so it's possible they just, are more comfortable with the bombs.
That makes sense. And Rick getting ready to go into the basement. I believe that was the flippers, right?
Correct.
Oh, he actually hasn't even been in here, so he still has to go do Moldworm and everything first. And he is doing AirPod.
Which, from his perspective, makes a lot of sense because there's a decent chance you wouldn't have to do the basement. Well, he doesn't have the key, for one thing. But if you, there's a decent chance you wouldn't have to do the basement anyways, so, putting the basement off till last is usually the right play, even if you could do it.
It's also just faster. You cut about 10 seconds off by doing a hairpot versus climbing the tower. That's if you get it fast enough.
Yeah, and as you can see, Gammachuu is going for left side, and oneup re-entered to do left side. So this is definitely something where they've both been keeping good track of their items and good communication. So they both know, hey, there's got to be something here on left side.
And it's the mitts. And I believe that is go mode for Team Kappa. All Gammachuu has to do is go get the ice rod.
Yeah, and then you'll also figure Gammachuu will go through and get the silvers as well on the way here, of course.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, with Vidi to do, plus the time save on Ganon, it's definitely worth the time at this point. Meanwhile, if you're a fan of Team More Bad at Team names, it is definitely not looking good for them at this point. Not only do they still have some items to get, they are not aware of that ice rod, and that is kind of an off the beaten path check. Might do it right after Swamp, but we'll probably end up full clearing Swamp before they do that Bombos tablet.
And even then, they're just behind at this point. They still have to get the flippers to go in the swamp, and Team Kappa's in go mode. So it's just not happening right now for them.
It is worth noting that I believe neither oneup nor Gammachuu have Bombos, so there's at least a small chance they're not in go mode, but you'd have to assume that one of the things they'll do pretty quickly is get out there and check what is actually required for TR and Meyer.
Yeah. Actually, Gammachuu has all 3 medallions. I just saw when when he menued. So Gammachuu and Synack both have bombos. Alright, and Rick about to find the ice rod, so that's good news. But until they get to left side swamp, which I don't know how long that'll be. I mean, he's probably going to the swamp right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's going there right now, though I'm sure since he knows all he needs is mitts, left side is going to be the last thing he checks in swamp.
Now oneup40 just burns through ice. I think he only opened like 2 chests because they were in his way.
Yeah, which is definitely something that makes sense at this point. You know, you're in go mode, but it still makes sense to do a couple checks here and there, especially if they're quick, because getting something like tempered with the amount of the game you have left to do in an all dungeon seed would definitely make up for it.
It looks like oneup's stream has frozen up on us. So we don't get to see what's on Cold Stare because I assume he's already beaten him at this point in time. Oh, there's sound. And a boss is dying.
Yeah, I pulled up his stream just on a spare window, and it doesn't look like he got anything relevant off Cold Stare. Anyways, so AdirondackRick looks like he's doing left side, which will be good. They'll get their mitts, and Team We're Bad at Team Names will be in go mode. Though at this point they are a decent bit behind, both in terms of when they're getting into go mode and just the items that they, or the amount of dungeons left to clear. So at 1 hour and 1 minute and 22 seconds, Team We're Bad at Team Names is now in go mode.
Will they get the silver arrows, though?
I would have to guess not. So meanwhile, Gammachuu is going to finish off Land Mows, then just have Ice Palace and Turtle Rock. Probably by the time finishes up there, we'll see where oneup is, but oneup will probably be more or less done with the Pod Eastern combo as well. So Gammachuu seems like likely to finish first, but oneup will be fairly close behind.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're gonna get silver arrows.
Ooh, and Synack takes a death on left side swamp. Oof, that's a rough death. So meanwhile, looks like Gammachuu is going to show off a recently allowed glitch a couple weeks ago called Icebreaker. You'll see how he does it, but basically what you do is you use Cane of Samaria to sort of clip into a wall, and then it allows you to skip a huge portion of the dungeon.
If he can get the diagonal right.
Nicely done. Which, even though, you know, it seems like, oh, he missed it a couple times, it is so much of a huge time save that you can miss it quite a few times and still save a ton of time. Also, just to toss out in case anyone out there sees a glitch like that and wonders how easy it is to do, it is actually not nearly as difficult as you'd think. It can be kind of precise, but you do get unlimited tries because you can still use the same block, like you saw Gammachuu didn't have to delete and redo the block. There are some good videos out there which actually teach it pretty quickly, and I mean, you can seriously learn it in a good 15-20 minutes with the practice hack. So I would strongly recommend you learn it if you're doing Link to the Past Randomizer at all competitively. It just saves you so much time and actually allows you to avoid some of those difficult execution rooms in Ice Palace.
And here is Cold Stare. I'm assuming right now the only thing Team Cap is looking for is another sword. I'd be surprised if they find one and keep opening chests.
To be honest, I'm actually kind of surprised oneup is opening this chest. Oh, that's the big key. Never mind. Honestly, I would be surprised if they go out of their way at all to open chests at this point. Maybe if they find... I mean, there's still a lot of chests in Ganon's tower, and then you have to go through a significant portion of Turtle Rock, so...
And Synack taking a death on Argus. Ouch.
Swamp Palace has not been nice to Synack today. Okay, it looks like we've got oneup stream back there. Did a very nice thing with, well, until I jinxed it. Very nice thing using the fire rod in that room. Even though, of course, it is a dark room you can do, it's a lot easier when you can actually see the enemies.
And Synack getting the big key, but opting to not go back and get the big chest. And there was a sword in Hookshot Cave. Oh my god! Because the myths were so late, they never got to Hookshot Cave. I assume that sword will also be found by Team Kappa.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm kind of surprised Rick is still opening chests here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's looking for.
I mean, maybe it was just he was looking for tempered like Team Kappa's been doing, but then once he got it, he figured going through Super Bunny and the rest of Hookshot Cave is not that much of a time loss.
Yeah, because if you find another sword or silvers, then it just makes everything faster.
Yeah, and it is worth noting, as Otaku Tom points out in chat, you could find Lamp, and even though I'm sure all of these runners, given the the scores and their records in the league, I'm sure all these runners are comfortable with the dark rooms. Mire Dark Basement is kind of a pain, so the amount of time you'd save if you found Lamp would probably make up for it, even if you're good at Dark Mire. And to confirm, Team We're Bad at Team Names does not know where silvers are, and since they've both finished Swamp, we know they're in Swamp, so they might be looking for those, but unfortunately we know they're not going to find them.
Yeah, it's... And I mean, that's just more of a time loss for them not being able to get silvers.
Meanwhile, you can't see it, but oneup40 is doing a very nice job with Dark Mire.
Yeah, he made it through. I wonder where the lamp is. Doesn't it like have to be either in ice or the front of Mire?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, because it can't be in Turtle Rock, so it can't be Green Pendant. Can't be Pedestal. Yeah, it'd have to be Mire, and we've seen pretty much everything else. Though actually with Desert, Skull Woods, no, it can't, and it can't be Ganon. Well, it could be Ganon's. No, it couldn't be Ganon's tower. So yeah, it's got to be somewhere Mire.
Alright, while we watch them in go mode, I think it'd be a good time for a recap so that everybody knows what's going on. This is a co-op seed. You've got on the left Team Kappa, on the right you've got team we're bad at team names. They're all playing the same seed. The teams are talking to each of their teammates and giving each other information about where everything is. So you're gonna see a lot of them just skip things that are you normally wouldn't skip because the other person told them not to. It's all dungeons, so they still have to get dependents and do AGA 1. And I think we forgot to do the big key game.
Yeah, it looks like someone attempted to start it, but didn't start up. So, anyways, you can still get your guesses in chat, and we'll still shout you out either way. which it's interesting here. Gammachuu looks to be doing, starting off with full left, which makes a lot of sense because it tends to take a little longer than full right, and Gammachuu is a little ahead of his teammates, so.
And Dark Magician.
The one thing that Blackwax didn't mention about the way the co-op works is that the final team time is actually an average of both players. So, you know, if one player finishes in first, but your teammate finishes significantly behind in fourth, that second and third place player, even though they didn't have anybody finish first, that second and third can average out to steal the win. So you really want both your players to ideally finish quickly, but also finish close to each other.
And Synack using bomb strats. Because he still hasn't gone and got his tempered sword. And dash strats with the boots.
So I did lose count, to be honest. How many was that?
No idea. I don't even know it. I didn't even see what chest it was in. I was watching Synack's screen.
So it was in the firebar room. Okay. So chat is saying 13, which
You win.
would be a tie between me and Gwydion Knight. Because I had 12 and they had 14, so. Meanwhile, looks like Rick is going to show off the icebreaker, so in case you missed it before, you're about to see him basically walk through a wall. So looks like we're going to have simultaneous Ice Palace runs through by Rick and Synack there. Meanwhile, both oneup and Gammachuu are both in different dungeons, but both on surprisingly low health, so might need to be a little careful here.
Yeah, Gammachuu's only real saving grace will come in the pre-mold worm room when he can fake powder.
Does he still have mushroom? Because I thought they had to turn that in for the boots, didn't they?
You know what? You're right. He can't fake powder.
I think Gammachuu might still have that free red potion, though. I can't remember if he spent that or not. Oh, and apparently the correct answer to the Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game was 12, so I got it right. Yippee.
And Gammachuu, minorly glitching out the game. If you open that bomb wall at the same time the torches go out, it doesn't open the door because the other one's closing and it confuses it. It still opens, it just doesn't show the image.
Oh, that's interesting. I've seen that before, but I've never understood why. Thank you for the knowledge.
And a very good Agatu fight, but we're not going to be seeing Ganon quite yet.
Yes, because this is all dungeons, so once Gammachuu comes out of here, gonna have to mirror and then do the whole Aga 1 run. In the dark, but with Fire Rod.
And oneup40 is on his way over to GT, so it really looks like they're both going to finish before either Synack or AdirondackRick.
And very smart use of Fire Rod there to light up this room. If you have a map pulled up, which you're allowed to do, it's not that bad, but it's definitely not fun. It also, as we just saw, keeps the other room lit as long as those torches stay lit, so to help you avoid getting hit by those guards in that second room there.
This is the difficult room. Mostly because you can fall off by accident. And a lucky drop with that fairy. And oneup40 starting his gauntlet. While Synack is just starting to go into his last dungeon.
Yeah, meanwhile, AdirondackRick still has to do this, and then I believe Eastern afterwards as well. Plus, if our tracking is up to date, also Meyer. So AdirondackRick still has a decent bit of game left for being able to start the Ganon's Tower climb.
And here's the Ganon fight. He dash strat, so he's straight up going for the 1-in-1. And he gets it. And no torch glitch, but it doesn't matter because he has silvers, and it looks like that may have been intentional so that he could set up that triple.
Yeah, that was a very nice Ganon fight there. Very clean by Gammachuu. So get your GGs in chat. Meanwhile, Synack taking an unfortunate death there in Turtle Rock. Gonna go all the way back to the entrance.
And oneup40 going into his pair of Aga fights. That sounded like a triple.
I mean, I think at this point we could claim whatever we want. No one can disprove it, right?
Right. I think he got the same 3-1-2 that Gammachuu got.
Yeah, very nice Aga fights from both runners of Team Kappa.
And Synack taking on Trinex.
Oh, and with one heart left.
Yeah. Don't die, man. Don't die again. He's got to be so tilted right now. He's died like 4 times. And Rick's died twice.
Oh, clutch, remembering have the blue potion. So Synack opening Ganon's tower. Let's hope he decides to do either the Hope Room then full left strategy or just straight full left strats.
oneup40 getting bullied a little bit by those fire bats.
Okay, good. Looks like Synack is about to pick up the big key. Start the Ganon's tower climb. Meanwhile, Rick is going through the dark mire right now.
And that's his last dungeon before he goes into a GT. And he'll just be able to go straight to the key now too, so.
So get your GGs in chat for oneup40. And with that, that is an official win for Team Kappa, which puts them at 13-1 overall in the league. I believe this was their last race of the league. So congratulations to them on finishing 1 and having first place in their division and having just a fantastic overall record. It is worth noting, as we mentioned up front, Team We're Bad at Teams names, even though they have unfortunately lost tonight, is still in the playoffs. They have, with their 27 points, they've locked up either the 2nd or 3rd seed, depending on what happens with the Willard Bradley Brewers fan JP and I can't remember the third person, I apologize, team.
According to the chat, that'll be the 3rd seed. I guess JP Brewers fan and WJB. I don't remember the letters to your guys' team name. I'm sorry. One there. There it is. WJPTBB. won earlier tonight, giving them enough points to pass up team we're bad at team names.
We are going to see if we can get OneUp in for an interview real quick. I know Gammachuu unfortunately had to decline, said they weren't feeling well, but GG's to Gammachuu. Did a very good job racing, did a very nice time overall, so. Definitely, and also GG's as well to AdirondackRick and Synack. All of our runners are top-tier runners. Definitely give all of them a follow and watch them as the race, as they start the playoffs next week. All very, very, very good runners. Very interesting to follow. And from what I can tell, I know a few of them. I've interacted with them, and all of them are very good guys. So definitely worth the follow. Definitely worth your support.
And we're joined by oneup40. GG's, man.
Hey,
good job.
Thanks, GG's.
So, how about that lamp?
Yeah, we were kind of starting to wonder where it is. There's not a whole lot of spots we felt it was left, but I don't know.
I'm thinking either it was somewhere in ice that one of the chests didn't get open, or the front of Meyer.
Yeah, I think there was one item left in ice. I kind of checked some of the quick ones because we were still on Master Sword at that point. I got like 2 heart containers out of there. But I think there was, yeah, probably a third item in the iced tea room, maybe.
So, what did you think of the seed?
You know, like, I don't know, there were good parts and bad parts to it. Like, last locationing, those flippers felt kind of bad. But at the same time, we were both glad that, like, they showed up before the mitts, because, like, those were the last 2 things we needed. And it's like, okay, well, if we find the flippers first, then all that opens is Swamp Palace for mitts. But, like, if you find the mitts first, then that opens a lot of places for the flippers to be. So, you know, the fact that the flippers showed up first kind of made us feel a lot better.
Yeah, the mitts
like
first. Keep going.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, and then, yeah, like, we were kind of talking, you know, back through the seed, and it's like, you kind of had to go up Death Mountain without a fire source, because, like, yeah, we never found the lamp, the fire rod was on Bumper Ledge. Like, there's just no way anyone goes back to Tower of Hera to get one item in the basement, so, like, we felt not too bad about it.
Yeah, I've never seen the mitts so deep in a seed and still be go mode.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I mean, it sounds like, you know, a bad thing for, like, such an important item to be your go mode, but at the end of the day, like, the fewer chests you have to check, like, the more chests locked behind the go mode item, the better. So, like, mitts is one of the better things to be your go mode.
Yeah, and your collection rate hasn't popped up yet, but Gammachuu is 119, which is pretty low, even for a co-op seed.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, I can spoil it or we can wait for it to come up on stream.
Either one, man.
Yeah, mine
Your
was
choice.
120.
Yeah,
So
that's
we were
still
pretty close to each
low
other.
in general.
So how are you feeling? Congratulations overall to you and Gammachuu and Team Kappa as well. I know Fear Agent, I don't know if they're still around in the chat, but they were as well watching as well. How you guys feeling about next week in the playoffs?
Well, yeah, I believe at this point we're gonna get a bye for next week, so Yeah, feeling pretty good about that. Then I guess we get to wait and see what happens between the other two teams to see who we end up playing.
You will be playing. Oh yeah, because you get the bye. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but WJPTBB is going to be the second seed.
Okay. Yeah, I know when I checked earlier in the week, I think it was going to be between... Yeah, I think Team We're Bad at Names was guaranteed a spot, and then like either WJP or But We're Buddies was going to get the other one. So I guess it's WJP and whatever all those letters are, and Team We're Bad at Team Names.
Yeah, I believe Team We're Bad at Team Names actually had a spot locked up before this game even started, and then WJPTBB was a game behind them, but won tonight, and so they now have the same number of points, and they have the tiebreak already based on their record against you guys, Team Kappa.
Okay. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I think WJPTBB was the team that gave us our one loss, so, you know, kind of watching out for that. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
What was your guys' average time?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I've got IRC on my other computer, and I'm not in front of it right now.
I have it pulled up, and Gammachuu finished with an official time of 1:27:51, and oneup finished with an official time of 1:33:48. So average is about 1:30:50 or 1:30:49, depending on how that math works exactly. But which an hour and a half for a co-op seed, all dungeons, is very good, very solid time.
Yeah, it helped a lot with the MITs being our go mode. Like, I mean, yeah, that means Meyer was going to be, like, we could full go mode that. Ice Palace was full go mode. Turtle Rock was full go mode. Locked behind the MITs. So yeah, I think that helped bring the time down a lot. I'm assuming that Rick and Synack were probably similar on the flippers and MITs, or did they manage to find those earlier?
No, you guys got it a little bit before them, the flippers. Rick went up there because he hadn't been up to Hera, and he had a fire source and got it on his first dip, but I think he's the only one that got it on their first dip.
Okay. Yeah, that was just a super awkward place in the basement for them to be.
And Synack's about to drop down into his Ganon fight.
Yeah, probably the biggest difference in the two seeds is Synack and Rick both took a couple unfortunate deaths along the way to bosses, and that's really what the difference has been thus far, is just, especially in a seed like this where, you know, you're going pretty quickly, a couple deaths can really set you back, and that was just unfortunate.
Yeah, it's especially tricky in co-op because, you know, you're not opening as many chests, so like you usually have fewer safeties and less health. Like I know I had kind of some sweaty palms going through Turtle Rock there. I think I was down to 1 heart on Trinex by the end. Yeah, it's just tough with co-op, and like another thing too that you don't really realize just watching the restream is like the whole time you're like talking with someone else too. So like, I mean, you're trying to focus on the game you're playing at the same time, but like you're also trying to coordinate with someone, and so that definitely takes like a lot of cycles away that you'd be able to spend focusing on the game. So that definitely plays a role.
Oh yeah, they also never got silvers.
Oh, and okay. So Synack is doing his torch glitch here, and looks like he's hitting the button a couple times and not. I don't know if the fire rod's just a little messed up there or what's going on. But looks like might have to be a little careful with the magic here.
Yeah, because he doesn't have lamp, he can't do anything. And down goes the pig. He hardlocked the game.
So, Synack had officially forfeited an SRL and said in the SRL chat room, "You'll see why."
Oh no.
And I think we see why.
Yeah, so if you swing the fire rod at the same time that the fanfare starts, it does this. Every time you hit a button, it just goes.
Yeah, and so we are now joined by Synack and AdirondackRick. Rick is about to do his Ganon fight, but since we're
Wait for it.
You know.
Wait for it. What's wrong with this picture, friends? You think you're ready to face me? I will not die until you complete your goals, dingus!
Oh man, that's rough.
Synack softlock messed me up.
Yeah, kind of.
It distracted me, so after grabbing the potions, I forgot. Oh, wait, that's right. We got to do Agate's Tower first.
So, like, I knew we had lost, right? So, and I was like, well, I'll just go do something really dumb, which is fire any type of Y item while raising your sword at the end. That's usually a pretty bad idea, because you'll just get stuck like permanently in this this beautiful, beautiful animation. So
Yeah, and your controller doesn't do anything about it either. There's nothing. You can't even start a select or anything.
Yep. Yeah. You have to reset the console. You know what? I wasn't gonna do that. Well, I could, but I'm gonna forfeit. Sorry, fantasy points, people. I think this meme here was worth it.
How are you guys feeling about it outside of that?
Well, first of all, GG's to Team Cap. I have no idea how you were able to route this to the point that you got this done in such a fast time, but...
Yeah, GG guys. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting seed. Those flippers, like, those were in an awful spot, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you guys think about the lamp?
Where is it? That's the main question.
We don't know. It's either in the front of Meyer or Ice Tea Room.
Yeah. What did anybody do Smith Chain, Peg Rocks, all that? Because like our go mode was mitts, so
yeah, same
we
for
didn't do
us.
any of that. I bet you it may have been there. In fact, I'll go check quick. Wait, when did that last save and quit? How long ago was my save and quit?
Well, during the early flu. Fine, I'll go check too.
I got everything. I'm just missing a pendant. It's not too bad.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and do Smith Chain quick. See.
I'll go spend 100 rupees.
Oh yeah, didn't you die in TR? That's probably your last save and quit.
Yeah, actually. Sounds about right. Hey, you know what? Dying actually paid off. What kind of?
I just, this was one of those kind of seeds where it just felt like after a while we were going to have to trample over each other's feet. And unfortunately, I don't know if Team Kappa was able to stay away from each other being in the same dungeon again.
Yeah, I think for the most part we were able to. I think the closest was, Gamma went into Thieves Town a little on the early side just to be able to get that mushroom to get to Boots.
Is that what set the gap between us?
He only had the boots like maybe a minute before you guys did. He didn't turn the mushroom in for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm wondering.
Head Cave had red mail, or would have been red mail for some.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I think the big thing that they had split up a little more than you guys did was they got that ice rod significantly earlier. So I think as soon as they got the flippers and mitts, they were in go mode. So they ended up overall checking, I think, a bunch fewer chests than what we'll see. We'll see what Rick's collection count is, but I think that was a huge part of it as well.
I don't know how you're supposed to check fewer chests in this, though. I mean, I don't know when would you have checked the bombos? Run, you did Hype Cave?
I did it right after Thieves Town because I got the master off of Blind and I already had the book in the mirror.
I did Hype Cave over towards Dig Game, so that was kind of a little bit of a routing issue there too.
Yeah, I did Hype Cave when I first went to Dark World, and then went up to like Pyramid and Catfish, and then mirrored and did Zora checks after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once I was at Thieves Town, I had to do like Digging Game and Stumpy and 45, and did Bombo's Tablet then.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
You want to know where the lamp was at?
Where?
Purple chest.
Nobody was getting that.
How could the lamp be that deep in logic? My goodness.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible, actually. That's behind a fire rod.
That's the last thing in the chain.
And mitts.
That's the last thing in the chain.
Yeah, it's behind cave, fire rod, flippers, and mitts in that order. That's crazy.
I'm curious to what led you guys checking that big chest in Swamp Palace.
I skipped left side the first time through. We were checking, we were not too far from each other, so what we did is I just went straight to the back, hoping that Gamma would be doing, I could clear the back right before Gamma got to the left side, which is how I think it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Back left side his first time through, and then I had to go back and clean it up the slow way. But yeah, that way if it had been in the back, we would just both go straight to the back and skip the left side.
But yeah, interesting. I mean, it was definitely an interesting set of circumstances there. I'm just surprised when Ganon said, "Did you find the silver arrows in Swamp Palace?" And that was the only place I had not checked.
Well, yeah, this is definitely a lampless seed. There was no way.
I thought, I'll say this honestly, heading into this week, I thought I was good enough in co-op seeds because I've done a few of them in the past with other people. So I thought I was going to be definitely good for this week, but you guys are on a different level than we are, and I'll have to figure out what your secrets are.
Can I ask you a question? How much have you guys practiced? Just out of curiosity.
Him and I together specifically, I don't know. We've done a few races with each other, but we've both done a lot of co-op races in general, I would say.
Okay.
Although, yeah, most of them have been with other people, but it's still kind of good experience.
Yeah. For certain.
Rick, you didn't soft lock. Oh my.
No, I didn't. I'll take that.
All right.
But I mean, you two definitely have shown off how much you guys are skilled at all aspects of this game throughout this entire season. Like, you guys are 13-1 for a reason, and it's not because you had an easy division. I mean, look at, you had to deal with us, you had to deal with Willard's team, you had to deal with Filian's team, you had to deal with Chelsea's team, and of those teams that are mentioned here, these 5 teams, there's really wasn't an easy week.
Yeah, there were a lot of good matches. I was definitely, worried going into a lot of those matches. The ones I played, at least, I'm like, this is going to be like a coin flip. Who's going to win this? Like, I mean, yeah, no matter what happens here, like, just anything could happen and go one way or the other. So I was glad, my games worked out the way they did. And then, like Gamma and Fear, they're great players too. So I was excited to watch their games and see them win too.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys have certainly done well yourselves too. Like, you guys, I think I heard our third, right behind WJPT BB too. So that's a pretty good showing from you guys.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely one of those cases here. I mean, we clinched the playoff spot before this week. We took care of that, so we had less stress into this. I personally would have just loved to have been able to have a little bit closer of a battle with you guys than it would have been to be 16 minutes in the first set here, and this one here, you guys crushed us by almost a half an hour.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go back and watch and kind of see what some of the differences are, that's for sure.
Yeah, like, I can already tell you based on what you can see on the screen, my collection rate is 20 more than oneup and 21 more than Gammachoo's here, so that's a big part of it right there. And I know in the match on Tuesday, I was a little too favorable about checking overworld locations. I just don't know what is the right time personally to go away from the overworld checks to go into the dungeon checks.
Yeah, that's always a tough question, and even more so like with all dungeons, which changes, like the calculus of that, and then co-op too changes it significantly too. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, we were basically just focusing on like trying to be in 2 different places at the same time, and I think that kind of led to us kind of doing overworld and dungeons kind of together, like, like you do VOO while you're doing Thieves Town, or you do Saha's Closet while you're doing Eastern and all that, so it kind of works out.
Right. I know that I had a couple of deaths that took me away from, that had me doubling back on locations, like the unfortunate death to the Myrtle Dactyls that had me walking all the way back over to Graveyard Ledge to find out, hey, look, that's nothing. But it's tough. I'll watch this back and see that how I guess the way I'll phrase this is see how Masters do at co-op, because you guys definitely showed that you guys are masters over us in this week. Like, if it was a coin flip, it would have been much closer. Like, probably maybe like 4 or 5 minutes closer, or 4 or 5 minutes separation between us. But obviously, we are missing a step if we're coming 16 to 30 minutes apart from each other. So, GG to you guys. Good luck in the playoffs. We'll take care of business next week and try to set up a rematch in week 9.
Yeah, GG's. Hope to see you guys again in the playoffs. That'll be fun.
I think it's sleepy time now.
Yeah, it's getting late here too.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, thank you to everybody for watching. Thanks for our runners, AdirondackRick, Synack, oneup40, and Gammachuu. Congratulations, Team Cap, on the win. My name is Arusta. Thank you to my co-commentator Blackwax and our 2 trackers who kept us on track pushing buttons, Yoinker's wife and M Jolly. So this has been Speed Gaming 4. Really appreciate it. If y'all are looking for some more randomizer action, this is unfortunately the last match of the night, but there are currently matches starting tomorrow, Friday evening or Friday afternoon at around 3:10 p.m. Eastern, and then going all the way until pretty late in the evening. So should be plenty of stuff tomorrow night as in night US time. And keep an eye on the schedule on ALTTPRleague.com. Thank you very much, and have a good night, everybody.